This is the Jack Murphy Podcast. Here's your host, Jack Murphy.
Welcome back to the Jack Murphy Podcast. I'm Jack Murphy, your host, along with my good friend John Garrett, who is a heavy smoker.
Sorry about that.
Down in Montgomery, Alabama. But, you know, in his defense, pretty much everybody in Montgomery, Alabama smokes. So, you know, it's not that unusual down there.
It's actually not true. I'm a pariah wherever I go smoking now. That's why I stay home.
So one of the things that we talked about yesterday that you missed, John, was the fact that there's an invasion going on in our country that I was totally unaware of. I don't know. Have you heard about the Asian jumping worms?
Is this like a bit, or is this like a real thing?
No, this is a real thing. I was scrolling through TikTok. And let me play this.
Well, you are big on the talk, aren't you?
Oh, I'm all over it. I'm very progressive.
You're the talk of the talk.
So I want you to listen to how upset this woman is. Now, let me warn you. I know you have young, sensitive ears. She's a bit of a potty mouth. But she's got the Asian jumping worms in her yard. Listen to her.
My kind of gal.
I cannot believe that I'm getting so emotional over fucking invasive species, but these Asian jumping worms are absolutely destroying my will to live.
Now, at this point, John, I thought this was a bit. I thought, you know, this is going to be a gag, some sort of gimmick. There's no such thing. But it turns out it's real. I did some research. But
Didn't we used to call these Oriental jumping beans?
Not beans, worms.
No. Didn't we used to call these Oriental jumping worms?
No, they were Mexican jumping beans. These are Asian jumping worms.
Fuck, I know it sounds dramatic, but let me just tell you, we have an incredibly bad infestation of Asian jumping worms where I live.
So we have an incredibly bad. No, she doesn't say where she lives. I think it's Minnesota. I'm not certain.
Is this some kind of invasive species that'll like eat wood and stuff?
Well, I did a little research on the web yesterday, on the interwebs, and found out that they're bigger than regular earthworms. And they eat a lot of organic matter. And, you know, when you're dealing with regular earthworms, normally that's good. They eat, and the stuff they leave behind is good for the ground. And, you know, they aerate the soil. I don't know why it's so bad, what these worms do that's so different that's bad, but apparently it is.
They're foreign, that's why. Anything foreign's bad. You know that.
Here is a video of somebody explaining how to get rid of the Asian jumping worm.
This is an Asian jumping worm, and it is bad news. Jumping worms can be found all over Onondaga County. They look almost like regular earthworms, except they have this whitish band instead of a pink one. And when they're disturbed, they jump and thrash around like downed power lines.
Me too.
This is my nightmare. So jumping worms only live for a year. They hatch in the spring from cocoons that are laid in the fall. Aww. Gardeners love earthworms because they pull nutrients down into the soil, but jumping worms don't do that. Jumping worms change the physical structure of soil into something resembling coffee grounds, and that loose soil can make it difficult for some plants to take root.
Okay.
So some fishers are thinking, wow, that jumping worm would look great on a line, but jumping worms are illegal to buy for fishing bait or composting.
Can you rent
Jumping
them?
worms are on New York's invasive species prohibited list. If you find jumping worms in your garden, you've got to kill them. Destroy. To kill jumping worms, put them in a plastic bag and leave the bag in the sun for a
bet you
That's
smush 'em.
cruel. Huh?
Hey, I got a couple of things. You know, you can easily tell what an Asian jumping worm is. If you look on the end, it's got a little slanted hole on each side. But secondly,
I thought, why not get some chickens or something, right?
right, can you just step on it? You got to go, hang on.
Put it in
Don't
a
go anywhere,
bag?
Asian jumping bean worm. I got to go get a Ziploc bag.
Just get a shovel or a hoe or something and
Right.
chop them in pieces, or get some guineas or something to take care of them.
Let me ask you a question. I know you're a man. You're trying to be a man that follows God, right?
Yeah, yes, exactly right.
You fall short, very short, but you try.
Every day.
Does killing an Asian jumping bean worm, is that one of God's creatures?
It's okay. It's an invasive species. Maybe if it was in Asia, it would be wrong. But
how
here,
come?
it's okay.
What if God is trying to introduce it so it can assimilate to
there's
American?
There's no law of God against killing animals.
Says you.
Well, I mean, the book doesn't say anything about it. In fact, in the Old Testament, they were slaughtering them left and right, sacrificing them to God.
Asian jumping beanworms?
No, bulls and sheep and rams and goats and doves and all kind of animals. So anyway, I just hope that the Asian jumping worm doesn't come to Charlotte. I don't need that in my life. I've got enough problems with squash boring beetles and beetles that attack my tomatoes.
Several years ago when I moved to Dothan, Alabama, I rented a place, and it was infested with bed bugs.
Oh, that's horrible.
It was the worst. It was such a psychological thing. You would wake up and there would be 3 or 4 of them on you.
Ugh.
And I had to throw away a mattress. I had to spend like $500 and fumigate a room, and I lost a bunch of clothes because the beetles, the little bed bugs would get on there, and then they mate with other bed bugs, and then they kill the bed bug, and it's just a bloody mess everywhere.
Yeah. When I lived in California a long time ago, John, in the 80s, one day I had a pest control guy come, and he goes, "You have termites. You got to have your house tinted and fumigated." And I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Well, in California, the termites are different. They fly in, whereas here in the South, they come up out of the ground. So they fly in California. So you have to pay. They come and they put a tent over your entire house. You have to take all the food out of your house that's open. Anything in your refrigerator, whatever, has to be taken out. They put this tent over your house, and you have to leave your home for like 2 days. And then they pump this poison gas in there, and it kills them. And then they take the tent off, open the doors up, air it all out, and you have to wait 24 hours to come back.
That sounds like a nightmare. How much did it cost?
I can't remember. It was like 1987 when I had it done. But
was it a lot?
I don't know. I don't remember. I really don't remember. But I'm sure.
I knew you were filthy rich back then, but
no,
was
I wasn't
it a lot
filthy
of money?
rich. I'm sure it was $1,500 or something back then.
Yeah.
I mean, tenting the entire house. Think about that.
What a nightmare. I had some termites at a house I lived in once, and I had gone 1 year without having the guy come out and check.
Right.
And in 1 year, they did $2,000 worth of damage.
And having termite treatment done is very expensive too.
Yeah.
They put those things down in the ground. It's expensive.
Johnny's aware.
So I was kind of shocked. I've got a Sydney Sweeney celebration song I want to play, and I was looking for a picture of Sydney Sweeney that I was going to put up on the screen while we played the song.
That sounds like a great plan.
Yeah, and so the first thing I did, I went to the American Eagle website, and we've been talking this week about how we're proud of them that they haven't caved. They don't have a single picture of Sydney Sweeney on their website wearing the jeans.
You know what? At this point, I don't think they have to. They can say, hey, we took it down because it's everywhere else. We've all seen it on every podcast, on every newscast.
Maybe
they
that's
can
the
now
way they
say,
look
hey,
at it.
our bad. No, we're sorry, but it's still out there.
Maybe that's the way to look at it. Check out this song. See if you like it.
Sydney hit the screen and in, blonde and smiling, clean and bright. American Eagle lit the fire, and the whole crowd cried all night. Said this looks too perfect, dangerous, too symmetrical, too white. While the market just kept climbing, 'cause those jeans were fitting right.
I feel like I'm on the old Jack Murphy morning show.
I love it.
Parodies.
I love it. That was on the talk yesterday. I found that on the talk yesterday. I thought we'd give it a spin this morning.
Cool.
By the way, John, our favorite conservative is back with another little conservative blurb on the Jack Murphy podcast I thought you might like to see today.
Remember, everything the liberals say is what the liberals actually want and will use every means available to achieve. So when they say America is stolen land, they are getting ready to steal your land.
Truth. Another truth bomb from the conservative babe.
Chicks need to stay out of politics.
She does a fantastic job.
Stick with sitting in your car crying and doing this with your hand. I don't want to hear your thoughts on politics.
She does a fantastic job. Hey, listen, Halloween is coming up really, really soon. Do you get a lot of trick-or-treaters at your house, John? I
Well-
bet you're great on Halloween night.
There we're kind of in a gray area. How gray? Charcoal. I'm the guy that turns out my light, and they don't come to my house.
Really?
Yeah. You know what I did do? Quandrum, my next-door neighbor, I'll take them a bunch of candy from the store, and then I'm like, all right, I'm done trick-or-treating. Don't bother me.
Okay. All right. I get tons of. I mean, even if we try to turn off the light early and go to bed, they still bang on the door. Get
Really?
out here!
It's-
Give us
it's
some
almost-
candy.
It's now everything down here in the South is haunted hay rides and trunk or treats. They don't take their kids out anymore.
Oh, in this neighborhood, we get a ton of them, and I usually dress up as something. I don't know what I want to be this year, but I thought I was on the talk yesterday, and
Boy, you do spend a lot of time on the talk.
one of the talkers that I occasionally see pop up in my feed, she's having trouble deciding what she wants to be this year, John. I thought you might want to give her a hand here. So
Okay, y'all, I know it is only the beginning of August, but Halloween will be here before we know it. And I always wait to the last minute to figure out what I'm going to be for Halloween. But not this year. Not this year. We're getting a head start, and I need y'all's.
what is that with the hands? Why do they do that? What is it?
Okay, well, I looked it up because it drives me nuts because I watch a lot of YouTube and Reels and TikTok. I'm not on the talk as much as you.
Okay.
And when all these videos started maybe 10 years ago, you would have people doing these rants and not even moving. So somebody decided to do this, but then everybody thinks you got to do this or some variation of this, and it's too much.
You can't do what you just did. You can't do that. That's the white power symbol.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
I know, that's why I did it.
Back when I was a kid, that that meant A-OK.
Yeah.
Or something's good. Hey, perfect.
They want to show their nails off, and it's distracting to me, and I will turn a video off. And if I see a guy do this, I immediately just keep on talking.
By the way, speaking of nails, I know you probably don't care what I think, but I hate the way a lot of women do their nails now, with the real pointed ones like vampire nails.
Yeah.
I hate that.
There's a lot of trends right now. It's all social media born. The nails, the eyelashes, the hair.
I hate the eyelashes.
It's too much.
I hate the wigs, the eyelashes, and the giant nails.
We're a couple of crusty old bastards today, aren't we?
It's a turnoff for me.
There's no
I don't know.
natural-looking women anymore.
And I don't like all that hardware in the nose and the lips and all that. It's unattractive.
Not a fan. And I'm also not a fan of the way they talk now. This intonation, like they know it all. I'm going to tell you something.
I mean, maybe young guys find that attractive.
No, they don't.
They don't?
No.
I know that I don't.
No, guys are tapping out of relationships. There's no point for these young men, these poor young men. Listen, you grew up in a different generation than I did. You're kind of you're a boomer, right? You're a proud boomer.
I'm one of the last boomers.
Yeah, you're a lower boomer, and I'm kind of a middle Gen Xer. So I'm 53. I did all right. I did okay, but there's no way I could be a young man in this day and age with social media, and every girl thinks that she's a TikTok star, and there's always somebody better. There's already somebody looking better. The grass is going to be greener. They're getting hit up in their DMs. Hey, girl. And there's no way a guy, like you got a son, you got a daughter. I would not want to be in either of their shoes, partly because your son's single and your daughter's married. I don't want to be either of those.
I don't know. By the way, while we're bashing women heavily today, let's jump on this bandwagon. Major League Baseball is calling up their first female umpire today.
Boo!
They're a little behind on this. She's been working in the minor leagues for 10 years, by the way.
She's got a little behind. What does that matter, Jack?
No. Major League Baseball is a little behind because
I miss her.
NBA had a female official 28 years ago.
Boo.
She's going to be calling the Miami Marlins Atlanta Braves game. Her name is Jen.
She's going to be calling them what? She's going to be
Powell.
calling all the players narcissists and controlling. They're going to have to delay the game because she has cramps.
So I don't know what the big deal about it is, really. I mean, she's going to get yelled at and screamed at by players, and
That's the thing, because now the game changes, not only on the field, but the politics of it, because you know, as well as I know,
the players aren't going to be as rough.
when a girl comes into the office, you got to watch what you say. You got to watch the jokes. You and I had to watch what we said around female workers. It's not like we're always talking about dirty stuff, but you got to be aware of your demeanor. You got to make sure you're nice.
You just can't be yourself.
No.
You can't say what's on your mind. I'm used to saying whatever on my mind.
Right. You and I could have an argument. You and I can have an argument, and you could be like, we got to do it this way. And I'd be like, friggin' fine. But if there was a girl, we got to go, hey, listen. We got to talk about
appreciate your input. We value your input, but we have to do it this way today. Thank you so much for being part of the team.
It just gums up the works. It makes things watered down. It's not that I'm anti-woman, but I'm just anti-woman at work.
But you know how the players will go after an umpire in baseball. You know, they'll
kicking dirt on their feet. Right.
And the fans, too, are they going to do that to the woman?
And she's going to be like, I don't care what you say. I only care how you say it.
And is she going to be able to take it when they attack her like that?
No, and then it's going to turn into, why are these misogynistic players? They're only yelling at her because she's a female umpire.
Exactly. Well, as long as we're jumping on women today, here's
the world's gone haywire, I tell you.
A woman in Los Angeles was rescued from a chimney on Tuesday. Witnesses say she was dancing on the roof, making a TikTok video when she tripped and fell into the chimney of her house.
Too bad there wasn't a fire going in it.
She must have thought, was she doing a Mary Poppins video up there or something?
They all got to do something to be cutesy-utsy and get attention.
So the fire department had to come out and go down the chimney, put a rope on her, and bring her back up. She's lucky to be alive.
If you're somebody online and you're putting up videos, but you're making bank and that's your career, that's one thing.
That's great.
But if you're doing it just because you want the attention, there's something wrong with you. It's good to discuss the news of the day, but I'm never going to do it with you on a chimney top.
So there have been so many people over the years. I remember so many cases of people like, normally it's somebody trying to break in your house. And those are usually not the smartest people in the world. And they decide their method to get in is going to be down the chimney. And what they don't realize is it's big at the top, but it narrows to just like a pipe down there, and they get stuck. And, you know, this person becomes a missing person. And then 20 years later, they're tearing down the house and they find a skeleton in the fireplace, or the homeowners notice a terrible odor in their house and somebody comes out and they check the chimney and they find a body in there.
That's actually happened more than once. I've read
it's happened a bunch of
years.
times, yeah.
You would never think to look in the chimney. And, you know, again, as long as you don't smell anything, if there's an upward draft of air, you'll never smell it.
Exactly. But, I mean, why would they think they could get down the chimney?
Well, because they're stupid, because they're trying to break into a house in the first place.
Is it because of Santa Claus, you think?
Maybe they think it can be done, but kids don't try this.
A 51-year-old woman in Maryland was arrested after she intentionally started a fire at a man's home because he owed her $7. The guy was able to put out the fire before the authorities arrived, but she has been arrested for arson.
I tell you what, these girls are dangerous.
Man said he'd known her for several years, and she showed up and became upset after demanding $7 she claimed he owed her. They argued. She left. She came back minutes later with gasoline, poured it on the front door, and ignited it, and sped off on a bicycle.
What I want to know is who's the bone who borrowed $7 from a 50-year-old?
It doesn't sound like he even borrowed it. She just showed up demanding that he gave it to her. So, John, I'm very happy today because this popped up on my Facebook page last night. And I'm so happy because I actually met this guy when he first invented this product. This was in like 1985.
Is this the guy who invented the spray-on hair that you use?
No. That's the real deal there, buddy. This guy's name is Lonnie Johnson, and he was the original inventor of the Super Soaker. He was, I think he was a NASA engineer. But when I was in New York, and this is the story about how I got Stevie Wonder on the radio. It's going to go from Super Soaker to Stevie Wonder.
Do I need to take notes?
No, It's a great story. So this guy invented this toy for his children. He invented an electric water gun with the tank on it, had batteries and a pump on it, and he did it for his children. And everybody that saw it said, "Hey, will you make one for my kids? Can I buy it?" So he invented it, patented it, and sold it to Mattel. But before he sold it to them, he just showed up one morning at the radio station at Z100 New York, and he had a case of them, and he gave each person on the show a case of them. And I think there were 8. They were big. They were like this big. I think he gave each person 8 of them in the box. Real nice guy. And he later sold it to one of the major toy companies.
Sure.
The story today is apparently 24 years ago, he started suing them because they weren't paying him the royalties. Mm-hmm. And he just settled a case and got $73 million. $73 million.
Beautiful. It's a beautiful story.
Hold on a minute. So anyway, I was going on vacation a couple of days after this. And I'm going out to L.A. to see one of my buddies out there. And I take a couple of these super soakers in a suitcase with me. And so at the time, my friend, Michael, was the VP of promotion at Motown Records. And so I went to his office to see him, and I took this gun up there to show him because it was such a novelty, And they're running around the office squirting people. Well, Barry Gordy Jr., who was the president of the label, was there that day and saw them, and he just went ape over this thing. He came running in there, and he goes, "Where did you get that? I got to get one of those for my kids." And he goes, "Jack brought it." And I said, "Well, they're not for sale yet. The guy just invented them, and he just gave us some of them." He goes, "I'll pay you anything you want for that thing." And
did you ask for points on Smokey Robinson songs?
No, I didn't. I should have asked for something cool. So I said, what I did was I said, "What could we?" I said, "I'll tell you what. You get me an interview with Stevie Wonder, and I'll give you both these super soakers." And he goes, "Done."
What year was this?
This was like 86 or something like that.
Okay, so this was when Stevie was doing Part-Time Lover, I Just Called to Say I Love You, Overjoyed, and all that. Cool.
Exactly. So I get back to New York, and I told my boss, Scott, I said, "Hey, I think
Scott Shannon, by the way.
I said, "I think I've got us an interview with Stevie Wonder." And he goes, "Yeah, sure, man. You're Stevie Wonder's. You're sure. He hasn't done an interview in years." So every now and then I would call my friend and I'd say, "Hey, Michael, I haven't heard from Stevie. Is that still going to happen?" And he goes, "Barry said it would." He said, "I'm sure it will."
But can you trust Barry Gordy? That's the question.
So about 4 months goes by. And one night, about 8:30 East Coast time, Michael calls me and he goes, "Hey, Stevie Wonder will be there tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock.
We'll be there.
We'll be there at the studio. What's the address?" I gave him the address. So I called up Scott and I said, "Hey, he's going to be there tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. And he goes, "Great, can't wait."
Biggest star, second biggest star in the world at that time.
Exactly. I mean, he was huge. And he had a show at Madison Square Garden that weekend. And this was on like a Thursday or Friday morning. So about 7:45, I said, "I don't know who's bringing him or what the situation." I said, "I'm going to go downstairs." We're on like the 5th floor or something. I said, "I'm going to go downstairs, where cars pull in, and I'll wait for him and I'll bring him up." And they said, "Okay, go on down."
We don't need you in the studio anyway.
So I go down, and I had one of these gigantic cell phones, that was about 3 feet long, and I'm on the hotline back to the studio, and I go, and they're all making fun of me. They go, "He's not coming. They're just pulling your leg." And they were just going to let me sit. So about 8:30, kid you not, a yellow cab pulls up, and Stevie Wonder and his wife, wearing a full-length mink coat, get out of this yellow cab. And I go up, introduce myself, and he goes, he's just nice as he could be. Then they pop the trunk, and he's got a keyboard in the trunk, a little keyboard.
Yeah.
And he brings it up there, and he's, like this, and he sets
Does
it down.
he do that in real life? Like
Oh,
Eddie
yeah,
Murphy?
yeah, just like that. So then our engineer, Frank Foti, who is a notorious guy, just had a huge temper. I mean, one of the greatest engineers ever. So I rush in, I say, Frank, Stevie Wonder's here. We got to hook up a speaker and this keyboard in the studio. He's actually going to play live on the air. And he goes, got about a little notice. He goes nuts. And so they're plugging stuff in last minute. Anyway, Stevie Wonder plugs in the keyboard and sits up there and plays and sings for like 2 hours live on the air.
No kidding.
It's
wow.
Unbelievable. Here's a photo of me in the studio with him.
Put it a little closer to the camera. I see Scott on the left. I want to see you. There you go. Keep going closer. Look at you. That's a great picture.
So anyway, people were calling in, and he would do their requests, and he did a little song because we didn't have any food waiting for him. He was hungry. He didn't have any food. Well, he stayed with us for like 2 hours, and then he left, and he hit like 3 other stations in New York that day. It was just fantastic. I mean, he was just so talented, you just can't even imagine. He'd just sit down with the keyboard and a mic and sing, and
he has not had a hit since that era. He was done 40 years ago. He hasn't had anything since Overjoyed Summer of '86.
Yeah. I think, he just made so much money. He still tours.
Absolutely. And I'm not knocking him.
He still tours some.
Oh, yeah, he'll always tour. Like Paul McCartney hasn't had a hit since Spies Like Us.
Right.
That's been 40 years.
And his greatest album ever, the double album, Songs in the Key of Life, he did in 1977, 78, somewhere around there.
4?
I probably bought that album 5 times.
Yeah.
On vinyl, cassette, CD, and I still listen to it to this day.
One of my favorite songs that I use on my daily walk is the song Go Home, I think, which was from that era, too. Love that one. Remember Go Home?
That one. I don't remember.
You remember, yes, I want to kiss you, but I want to kiss you, honeysuckle kisses full of love.
Oh, okay, yeah.
When I say, yeah, there's a bunch of them. Now you got me thinking of Stevie. Mm-hmm. We're going to get copyright marked for me singing that Stevie song.
He was just fantastic that day. Loved him.
Did he do Girl Do I Do? I
don't remember, so long ago. I actually have a tape of it somewhere.
You gotta put clips up on the air on the podcast.
I have a tape of the show, and I will. I'll find that tape and edit some down and post it on the.
Cool. We love Stevie. We're not big on chicks, but we love Stevie Wonder on the Jack Murphy podcast.
I have nothing against the chicks at all. There were just a lot of stories about women today that we covered on the Jack Murphy podcast.
They're very dangerous, is all you're saying. I understand.
Yeah. So
they don't know what the they're doing. Do you understand that?
You have 200 respondents
So anyway, thank you for being part of the Jack Murphy podcast today. Like the video and subscribe. If you didn't like the video, just keep that to yourself. It doesn't help Jack, trying to...
How are we doing on subscribers right now?
We got a couple of new ones yesterday.
Good.
We're in the 186, 187 range, but we're really taking off on Rumble and on Podbean.
Because who would know? If you can just say that, nobody would know the difference.
Well, no, you can go over to Rumble and look at it. I got a couple of messages on Rumble. I tell you what, I love the layout of Rumble better than YouTube.
I'm on Rumble too, but I kind of have my page just sitting there doing nothing.
It's easier to navigate. But, we're on all these different platforms, and so in the aggregate, we're doing really well. I'm very happy with it. But yeah, tell a friend. Tell all your friends to like the Jack Murphy podcast. Have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow.
I enjoyed the Stevie Wonder story.
Thanks for watching the Jack Murphy podcast. Remember to like, subscribe, and ring that bell. Go ahead, ring it. Get alerts when a new episode drops, and tell your friends about the Jack Murphy podcast. But only the cool friends, please. Tune in next time for another episode of the Jack Murphy podcast.